The Poughkeepsie tapes. This story is presented as a documentary. Police discover hundreds of videotapes inside an abandoned house. The tapes were recorded by a serial killer over the course of several years. The film follows the investigation through interviews with detectives, combined with footage taken directly from those tapes. The killer never shows who he is. He hides his face, changes his voice, and uses different disguises, making it impossible to determine who he really is. He kidnaps his victims, mostly women, and keeps them alive for long periods of time. During that time, he records everything, documenting both the physical and psychological abuse. One of the main cases involves a woman named Cheryl, who was held captive for years. Over time, she is completely broken psychologically, to the point where she develops a form of dependence on him. When she is eventually found, she is alive, but unable to help the investigation in any meaningful way. Despite having hundreds of hours of recorded evidence, the police are never able to trace the killer's identity. In the end, the case remains unsolved. Frailty. This story begins with a man named Fenton walking into an FBI office, claiming his younger brother is the God's hand killer. He starts telling a story from their childhood when their father said God had chosen him to destroy demons hiding in human form. From that moment on, the father begins abducting people, touching them as if he can see their sins, and killing them with an axe. Fenton doesn't believe any of it and becomes increasingly disturbed, while his younger brother fully accepts it. As the killings continue, Fenton tries to stop his father but fails, and is eventually forced to take part. During one of the killings, he turns against his father and kills him. Back in the present, he leads the FBI agent to a remote location, but then reveals the truth. He is not Fenton, he is Adam. He killed his brother and took his identity, continuing his father's mission. He then reveals that the FBI agent is one of the sinners his family was chosen to punish, exposing that he once murdered his own mother. In the end, nothing leads back to him, and he continues living a normal life without ever being caught. Wolf Creek. This story follows three travelers, Liz, Christy, and Ben, on a road trip in which they decide to visit a remote crater in the Australian desert. After spending the night there, they wake up to find their car no longer working. Stranded in the middle of nowhere, they accept help from a man named Mick Taylor, who offers to tow their car and fix it at his camp. He seems friendly, so they trust him and go with him. That night, Liz wakes up tied inside a shed. Mick is not a mechanic, but a serial killer who targets tourists in isolated areas. Liz manages to escape and tries to rescue the others. She finds Christy captured and Ben already badly injured. Mick hunts them down one by one, always in control of the situation and using the isolation of the environment to his advantage. Liz eventually manages to escape and drive away, and for a moment it seems like she might survive. But Mick tracks her down, shoots her, and takes her back. In the end, Liz and Christy are killed, while Ben survives but is left completely traumatized. Because everything happens in a remote area with no witnesses or traceable evidence, nothing leads back to Mick, and he is able to return to his normal life without ever being caught. The Vanishing. This story follows Rex and his girlfriend Saskia during a road trip across France. They stop at a gas station, and Saskia goes inside to buy something, but she never comes back. Rex searches everywhere, but there are no clear signs of what happened, no witnesses, and no immediate leads. Years pass, but he refuses to move on and becomes completely obsessed with finding out the truth, dedicating his life to the mystery. The film then shows the man responsible, Raymond Lemorne, a quiet and ordinary man with a normal life, a family, and no obvious signs of violence. He is driven by a need to prove something to himself, and after carefully planning and rehearsing the situation, he successfully kidnaps Saskia at the gas station. He later kills her and hides the body in a place that is never discovered. Years later, Raymond contacts Rex and offers to tell him exactly what happened, but only if Rex agrees to go through the same experience. Rex accepts, unable to let go of the mystery. Raymond then drugs him in the same way, and Rex wakes up buried alive, realizing too late what he agreed to. Raymond returns to his normal life, and because he left no evidence and was never suspected, nothing ever leads back to him, allowing him to remain free. Cure. This story follows Kenichi Takabe, a detective investigating a series of murders in Tokyo. Each case follows the same pattern. The victim is killed with an X carved into their neck, and the killer is found at the scene. But there is one problem. None of them know why they did it. As Takabe investigates, he finds a connection to a man named Mamiya, who suffers from memory loss and constantly asks simple questions like, "Who are you?" Despite his condition, everyone who interacts with him begins to act differently. Shortly after, they commit murder. Takabe realizes that Mamiya isn't physically forcing anyone. He is influencing them, unlocking something already inside them. Even after being arrested, Mamiya continues to affect people, showing that simply containing him doesn't stop the problem. As the pressure builds, Takabe becomes more unstable, especially with his wife's deteriorating mental state. Eventually, he confronts Mamiya and kills him, believing it will finally end everything, but it doesn't. After his death, something changes in Takabe. In the final moments, a woman who interacts with him begins to act strangely, suggesting the same pattern is starting again. In the end, the cycle continues, and whatever Mamiya started didn't die with him. Natural-born killers. This story follows Mickey Knox and Mallory Knox, a couple of serial killers traveling across the United States. They commit random murders with no specific targets, often killing multiple people at once and leaving one survivor behind to spread their story. Their relationship is built on violence. After meeting, they kill Mallory's abusive parents and begin their killing spree. As they move from place to place, the media starts to notice them. A journalist named Wayne Gale turns them into national celebrities, broadcasting their crimes and increasing their notoriety. Eventually, they are captured and sent to a maximum security prison. Inside, Mickey gives a live interview, using it to spread his beliefs and manipulate the situation. At the same time, a prison riot breaks out. Using the chaos, Mickey and Mallory reunite and begin killing their way out, taking advantage of the complete loss of control. During their escape, they capture Wayne Gale and force him to keep filming. After using him, they kill him as well, removing the last connection between them and the media. In the end, they escape together. Years later, they are still alive, now with children, having completely avoided justice while continuing their lives. The Silence of the Lambs. This story follows Clarice Starling, an FBI trainee assigned to help catch a serial killer known as Buffalo Bill. To understand him, she is sent to interview another killer, Hannibal Lecter, a former psychiatrist imprisoned for multiple murders and for feeding on his victims. Lecter agrees to help, but only if Clarice shares personal details about her life. As their conversations continue, he begins to analyze her, controlling the dynamic. At the same time, Buffalo Bill continues abducting women. The pressure to find him increases when a senator's daughter becomes his latest victim. Lecter provides clues, but forces Clarice to figure things out on her own. Eventually, she follows a lead that brings her to a house. Without backup, she enters and realizes too late that she has found Buffalo Bill. Inside, she discovers the victim still alive. In the darkness, he tries to hunt her, but she manages to react and kills him. The case is solved, and the victim is saved. But at the same time, Lecter escapes during a transfer, killing the guards and disappearing without a trace. In the end, Buffalo Bill is dead, but Lecter breaks free, already planning his next move. Saw. This story follows two men, Adam and Dr. Gordon, who wake up chained inside an abandoned bathroom with no memory of how they got there. Between them lies a dead body. They soon discover they are part of a game created by Jigsaw, who forces his victims to make extreme choices to survive. Gordon is told that if he doesn't kill Adam before a certain time, his family will be killed. Adam is told to survive and find a way out. Outside the room, the police are investigating Jigsaw and discover other victims who were forced into similar situations, all based on making impossible choices. As time runs out, Gordon makes his choice. Instead of waiting, he cuts off his own foot to escape. Adam hesitates, trying to find another solution, but never fully commits to any decision. In the end, Gordon escapes, leaving Adam behind. Then, the final twist is revealed. The dead body in the room stands up. It was Jigsaw the entire time, watching everything. He tells Adam he failed his test. Jigsaw walks out, locking the door behind him. Adam is left trapped inside, with no escape. Jigsaw disappears, never being caught.